podcasts. Free never sounded so good. Navigating today's real estate market can be tricky. Want to buy or sell a house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DiPaola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Good South Florida morning, y'all. Happy Saturday and welcome to another edition of Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours, hopefully, of infotainment. And it's great to have you out there. 92.1, 101.7 on the old terrestrial radio. Thank you very much. You can use your free download, your iHeartRadio app that makes us worldwide, wide. Yeah, big time. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, live streaming on a couple of different platforms for you. You can join us on Facebook, Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube live streaming, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC, home of a ton of informational chunk videos and a live stream on a Saturday. If you're with us out the gates, thank you. If you're not, you're more than welcome to join. Check out some pretty faces on a Saturday and mine as well. Hi, thanks for being there. Of course, you're always welcome to be a part of the program. Toll free. You have a question, comment, concern in the world of real estate? Hit us up. 877-927-6969. The first voice you'll hear, the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire. There's my brother from another mother. Jimothy, what's up?
Hello, and good morning. I see our numbers in Angola are really increasing, too.
See, that's
worldwide.
I love the fact that we can pinpoint that kind of listener.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's amazing what AI can do these days.
It is. It's getting scary, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you, my man.
Good to see you too, Johnny. Happy Saturday.
Always a pleasure. Happy Saturday to you as well. Johnny, that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. I'm your air traffic control. Let's go ahead and get a starting lineup on a Saturday morning. Florida Talk Real Estate team represented very well because, well, there's Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Hello, Mike.
That's right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Shout out to all my Angolites.
Nice. Is that what you call them?
Angolese,
Angolians?
Angololians,
Angolians.
Angolians.
I have no idea.
Timothy, what is it?
I don't know. That's a good question. Angolians, I think. That does make sense.
It does feel right.
Kind of rolls right off the tongue.
It
if you know what I mean.
Angolers.
Angolers.
You know how someone was talking about, well, I heard, there's some news about Maine happening right now, but they're called Mainers.
The Mainers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. And then it got me thinking, like, okay, so what is it's Floridian, and there's like Texan,
Californian, right? Mexican.
Yeah.
Well, that's New Mexican, Arizonan.
Yeah. Wyoming.
Wyomings.
Wyomers. Nebraskans.
Wyos.
Yeah.
Wyos.
I don't know what the rule is.
I might just move there for it. So, Oregonians, right?
Oregonians.
It's Oregonians.
That's a normal one. It's the Ers. There's a couple of Ers out there.
Well,
Mainers.
Pittsburgh, they call them the Ginzers, right?
Yinzers.
Yeah, I gotta say with the Yinzers.
Yeah. But that's the city.
Oh, just Pittsburgh.
That's probably because they say Yuns.
So that's not a state thing. That's a city thing.
Yeah.
All right. Huh. Well, hey, I always love going down this path with you, my friend.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We should do this
guys.
more often.
Jimmy started it.
Totally his fault. And then Ross joins in. He's Ross Camaronets with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Thanks for joining the peanut gallery over here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm actually half Angolian.
Really?
Angolans.
The bottom half.
Angola, the bottom half. That makes sense. I appreciate that.
I thought that. I wasn't going to go there, so I'm glad you did it, Ross.
I was like,
which you did it for me.
That one almost got by me, but I caught it right here.
Good to see you as always, my dude.
Happy Saturday.
Yeah, same to you. And thanks for freezing with me in the studio today. I love having someone feel my pain. You know what I mean? Misery loves company, right? Yeah. Thanks for freezing with me. There's Jimmy D over there pecking away. He's our fearless leader. Told you for a long time now. I don't even know how to put it. 14 years?
13 running.
13
We're in our
running.
14th year. We're in the middle of the 14th year. How about
I'll
that?
tell you, we've been on this radio station a long time, and thanks for supporting us this long. Jimmy D runs a top producing Keller Williams team. It's the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jim DiPaola. Jimmy D, how you be?
I'm doing great, Johnny. Hello, everybody. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Jimmy. Good morning, Ross. We have a really very information-packed show this week. We're going to talk about, I realize that what the state legislature, their governor's trying to have been doing is they're hacking away to try to make an affordability plan for homes specifically, homeowners specifically, and buyers. And they're doing two things right now, and I think some of it's going to work, and it's kind of interesting. Some of it, I'm not sure it's going to work. We're going to talk about that. Part of the plan is the Florida property tax elimination. So you know what I did? I broke down exactly where that money goes so we could talk about how your tax bill is. But even better, I checked out the last 4 states that have tried to eliminate property taxes in the country and what the results were. Yes, and well, different versions of trying to eliminate property taxes. There were 4 states that have tried it. Some have tried it multiple times. Really learned a lot. I was like, wow, I didn't know that. It was really interesting, and it might be foreshadowing if it passes. It might foreshadow what will happen to us if we do pass something like this. So we're going to talk about that. Pretty cool.
Awesome.
Well, the good thing is we can have confidence that our leaders are looking at what other people have tried and learning from those mistakes, maybe, right?
Well, what's
They're
interesting,
really investigating it.
well, it's a good point, Mike, but some of them that have failed are looking at Florida now to see how the voters react to this plan, to see if they want to adopt the plan to get it passed in their state. So we're going to see. There's some pros and cons to it. It isn't just all unicorns and
Rainbows.
rainbows. Okay, but
Sure.
but it
Sprinkles.
also isn't a dark storm.
Sprinkles.
It also isn't a dark storm coming either. It's like we got to check it out. Another thing is really big news with Citizens Insurance, and I'm going to talk to Ross about this a little bit. Citizens said they were going to do a rate cut this year. Remember? Well, the rate cut is much bigger than what they originally planned. At least this is what I'm reading. We're going to check with Ross. But more importantly, the big question I'm going to have for Ross is, since they're cutting that much and there's that 20% depop, does that mean they're expecting all these other companies to drop? I did not talk to Ross about this off the air, so we're going to find out.
Yeah, because
what
they
he
don't
thinks.
want to slide themselves into everybody being able to pick up Citizens, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that if we see a huge drop there, it might be a big chop. We're going to get into that with, the guy that knows is Ross. So
That's
we're going to
it.
get into that. Ross is going to be a shout out in a second.
Cool.
We're also going to talk a little bit about why it's important to hire the right real estate agent. You had mentioned that, you mentioned every week that I'm a top producer, and I am. I was just down at the 10% regional 10% top agents in Keller Williams yesterday. We were in a 5-hour, very in-depth class about the market and what's happening in the market in the future and where we're at now and understanding it all. Really good stuff. There were like 100 top agents in there.
Oh, it was pretty well attended. That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. This was big thing to come to. And the top agents, they want to know what's happening and
Yeah.
they want to know what's happening in the future.
They're top agents for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened is while we were there, I got some really interesting facts. And I was thinking about one of the deals I just put under contract. And I was thinking, wow, I wonder if this kind of relates to what just happened in one of my experiences. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So we got a really great show this week. And of course, somebody just sent a message saying, I'm from Auckland from YouTube. Hi, Pete. I don't know if you're really from there, but if you are there, awesome.
We got New Zealand in the
We
house.
got New
Why not?
Zealanders.
Some
Love
Kiwis.
it. Yes,
Angola,
love it.
New Zealand.
So
Big Tool was just there like a couple months ago. Did you go see Tool, man?
no, I did not. But
I'll let you know in the chat.
Yeah, let us know.
I think we're going to get a lot more action on our Facebook and YouTube. We fixed a lot of things. We made things better. I promised that it was coming in 26. We're moving forward. We got even bigger things coming. I'm really excited about this. We got so many subscribers last week, which was really unexpected, and I was really happy. So don't forget to like and subscribe to us every week for 14 years running now.
Mhm.
We've been doing this live, talking about what's happening in the real estate market in real life. And the thing that makes us different, anybody coming in here and catching new, what really makes us different is that we don't have an agenda. We tell you what's happening real time in the market. If it's a good time to buy, we explain why. If it isn't a good time to buy, we'll tell you that too.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Well, it's always a good time to buy if it's right. For
if
you
it's
and your
right for
family.
you.
Yep, that's
But
right.
we're not there for the agenda. Like, remember that whole when the market turns in a negative way, the mortgage companies, sorry, Mike, and realtors, right? They always try to flip it to make it. And it was funny. The lead, Brett my office just got bought out by a broker, and I don't even know his last name right now, so I'm very embarrassed. And
Let's go
he's
with
very
Hart.
big. He runs a team of like 1,000 agents. This guy,
Nice.
right? Yeah, on top of running all these brokerages. Really smart guy. Brett, he's been in the business 27 years. What he was saying is that sometimes it actually is better to rent right now than buy, because the mortgages are so high that you can get almost the same property for rent, and it's cheaper in some cases. Now, you don't get any appreciation, tax benefits, all of that, but sometimes he said it is. And I was really refreshing to hear a leader like that talk in real life about real people and not just say, gotta buy, gotta buy, gotta buy, right? So we're not like that on this show. The other thing is we give you really great information, which is leading into our first shout out as proof that you got to watch the show if you live in Florida for sure, is Ross. So I was in my office, Ross, yesterday, 2 days ago, and there's a mortgage guy there that works in our office, really nice guy. And he came up to me and he goes, hey, I've been listening. He listens to our show once in a while. He's driving around or something. And he goes, I've been listening to your show, and I heard Ross talking about that you really should check your insurance policy. So he has his own team because he's a mortgage guy, right? So he calls up his insurance agents, and the insurance agent gives his deck page. Hadn't been touched since 2021. They redid the bill. He was paying roughly $8,500 a year, if my memory was correct. He got a $4,000 a year savings, dropped it to $4,500 a year, just because he listened to our show.
Listen to the show and
Right?
went, you know what? Let me
check
let
and
me
see if
do
I could
this.
do that too.
Yeah.
Now, it would have been nice if he called Ross,
Yes.
which I think you should do. It's just a courtesy. If Ross is saving you $4,000 a year, I think you should use him.
Should be the first call.
Yeah, your guy didn't. And nothing wrong with that guy, because the mortgage guy is great. He's a great person and everything. But bottom line is, this stuff's real. It's real life stuff. And you don't even have to use it sometimes to just take the advice and boom, it happens. So really prefer that you didn't do that, because, your business is the lifeblood of this show.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
keeps the show running. And also,
a great way of saying thanks for sharing such valuable information would be to be like, hey, let me get with Ross at Brightway Insurance in Juno Beach and see what's happening.
or at
That's
least
all
give him
right.
a like.
As
or-
long as you save money.
Hey, I'm
Like,
glad
that's
you feel,
all I
I'm
care
glad you
about.
feel that way, Ross.
That's all I care about. Like I,
You can't put that in your tracker though, Ross. Or can you? Maybe you have a side one for like
Sidetrack.
rumors that you hear where someone actually saved money based on your advice, but you didn't get to help them.
Do you have to have a different phone for
Okay,
your sidetracker?
Oh,
So nobody knows.
He should at
guess
least
so.
do a Google review or something, right? He should at least give Ross a Google
I would-
review. Hey, he's really professional. Just something. Give him
this
something.
is probably the most you're going to get out of it. With this announcement right now.
Yeah. The
Thanks,
shout out.
Ross.
The
Thanks,
shout
Ross.
out.
imagine if my side tracker met the real tracker.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
you're in trouble.
The rumors about
Worlds,
the side tracker.
worlds colliding.
Yep,
oh, yeah.
Worlds colliding.
Oh, and if they come together to team against you,
Oh,
talk about tides turning.
No.
Mm.
We got to pull up the savings tracker.
Hey, just want to give a couple also shout outs to our regular crew that comes every Saturday or almost every Saturday. Nate, thanks for stopping by again. Pete, welcome to the crew. Elizabeth, thank you for coming in the show week in, week out. She always likes our posts and shares our posts. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Francis is another big top fan of ours. Thank you so much, Francis. Good morning. I hope you're staying warm. I guess it isn't that cold out here right now. I thought it was going to be colder
It's
today.
freezing in this studio.
I feel hot. That's why I took my jacket off. I guess I'm going through the change.
Menopause. Finally
Yeah,
hit the
there it goes. It
change
finally
hole.
kicked in.
Menopause.
Menopause.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, like the man's ear or the bro.
That's right.
Right? The man's
Right.
ear or the bro. We just created a new name. Menopause.
So-
Maybe we didn't
well,
create
I
it.
don't- I mean,
Menopause.
hey,
I like it.
you mentioned a few things that are real. I think you mentioned a bunch of things that are real.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So, anyway, everybody, good morning. Ross, thank you so much for doing what you do and helping people, even people you don't know you're helping. I love that. And
If you ever gotten anything
Hey.
from the show, and that even means a moment of entertainment, liking and sharing posts is a wonderful way of saying, hey, thank you very much for anything, any service. Again, even if it's just been a 5-minute session of like, that was entertaining or valuable. That is a great way to really give a pat on the back to the team. Like and share those posts. It's a simple thing to do, and it can really, really make a difference. So thank you very much.
it really can. Thank you, Johnny. So next shout out is very interesting story. So I wanted to kind of go through this, and then after that, we're going to get into the Florida's affordability plan, the two-pronged thing that they're thinking of trying to do to make housing more affordable in South Florida.
Cool.
So we sold and we got under contract, and we're ready to close on the Jupiter Peach townhome property.
Nice.
That was a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath townhome in Jupiter Beach. And what made this one, it was really nice, very nicely updated, but what made it so unique, other than the location where you're a couple of football fields from toes in the sand, is that
what does that mean for our people in Auckland?
they have beaches.
They know.
They have beaches. They're an
The
island.
football fields.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't get
As
that
a
yet.
distance reference.
Oh,
right?
yeah, a couple football
Listen,
fields.
we're
yeah.
international.
I
Jeff.
wasn't
You
getting that
we
part.
should probably do metric and imperial.
Mike is a big European football fan, so I didn't get the reference there. I'm thinking American football. So one of the great things about this property is it's an Airbnb. So it's pulling in about $80,000 to $90,000 a year, just an gross income from Airbnb and VRBO and all that. I'm saying Airbnb, but daily rentals.
Sure. This thing had like 50,000 under contract, like for the year.
When
already,
we
didn't
put
it?
the house under contract, there was only 40,000, and then it
Oh,
jumped
time
up to
passed.
50 because people
More
kept booking
bookings.
it because it's the season.
There it is.
So so I wanted to congratulate Jamie.
Congrats.
Thank you for hiring me. She found me through her fiance. I don't know if it's a husband now, it might be a brand new husband, but it's a fiance or husband, and newlywed. And he listens to the show, and he goes, "Hey, if you're going to sell that unit, maybe you should call that guy." So I went over and met her. She actually told me after we went under contract, I didn't really think it was going to sell. And that gets us into the next thing. So when I was at the Keller Williams, ties into the, I'm weaving here. It gets into the Keller Williams top 10% seminar that we took yesterday. They gave us some average stats for Florida. Remember, I told you a couple weeks ago that out of 1.3 million agents, 925,000 agents didn't do a deal last year,
Not a
did
single
zero
deal.
deals,
Uh-huh.
right? And 15% of the agents did something like 98% of all the deals in the country,
Yeah,
right?
This is why you should vet in every situation. Be
And
like,
they're-
hey, show me your numbers, show me your production. How do you work? Not just like, oh, I know them, they're nice, I'll hire them. That's not the way
They
to
have
do
a
it.
business card.
Yeah, I got a business
Yeah,
card,
nice
right?
one too.
So what happened was in this neighborhood, and this is kind of so the average realtor in Florida, they make $48,500 a year. They this is 2025. They had 11 years of experience, and the average realtor in Florida, how many deals do you think the average realtor in Florida did?
Average.
Yeah. Well, it's actually median, but we'll say median, but there's 350,000 real estate agents in Florida. I didn't know that. I just learned that. 8.
Ugh. 2.
5.
Jimmy?
5. I'll go with
5.
Mike.
Well, Ross is the closest because it was 7.
No, he went over.
Right,
that.
7. Yeah, he went over, so it doesn't count. Sorry, where our price is right. You're
Nobody
bombed
told me
out.
the rules.
Yeah, no rules.
I would have done 7.
I said 6.
Right. So so only 7 deals a year. That does not put food on the table, right? After you got to pay brokerage fees and all that, then you have your regular costs, right? Then you got to pay taxes, right? My insurance, I just found out, is $30,000 a year for my insurance. Just me. $30,000 a year is what I'm paying a year this year for insurance.
That's
So,
disgusting.
right. And if I work for an employer, it would be like $500 a month,
That's
right? It'd
health
be like
insurance
$6,000 a
we're
year.
talking about,
Is
right?
that
Yeah.
through the marketplace or whatever?
I can't do that because I'm not in that income bracket, so I got to go out in the open. I'm really, but anyway, this is getting ridiculous.
It's
This is like, well, when I was a kid, when I was in journalism, this I think I started out at 19,000 a year or something, right? 30,000 a year for insurance. It's crazy out there. So there's a lot of costs that realtors have, and there's no set income. You don't know if you're getting paid or not. And even when you get something under contract, you don't know if it's going to close, right? So it's really, really crazy situation out there. So does hiring a seasoned realtor really make a difference or not? And this is what I was thinking when I was looking at those stats with Jamie. So I went back into her neighborhood, It's a very small neighborhood in Jupiter Beach. It's Jupiter, but I call it Jupiter Beach because it's so close to the ocean. And there were 12 sales since 2023 in this neighborhood. How many expireds do you think happened during that same time? Expired and canceled. So how many people put their house on the market that didn't sell?
Well, she said she didn't think it was gonna sell, so I'm guessing the number's pretty good. Yeah.
Mhm.
We'll say 3 times that, 36.
Okay, Mike,
What type of time frame were we talking about?
since 2023 to today.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
And there were
more than
only
that.
12 sales in that whole time, 12 closed.
Mm-hmm. In 3 years?
Oh yeah, well, I should bump
I
my
don't know.
number up a little bit.
50?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me.
Well, it's a
100.
very small community. I'm just helping you out
How
here.
big's-
There's
okay,
only
so
48
12.
units in the whole
I'll say
community.
12.
48 units.
A dozen.
A dozen?
There's only 48 units.
I'll say 25.
25. Yep. It was 13. So they closed 12, but 13 did not close during that time period. Right.
Okay.
So a little less than 50%. Florida. I'm sorry, the Tri-County area. And I've been saying this for a while, but I was off on the number. I used to say 1 in 4 homes don't sell. Even in this hot market, 1 in 4 homes don't sell. Hire the right realtor. Well, I was wrong. Last year in the Tri-County area, 43% of the houses that went on the market did not sell. 43%. I only had 1 expired listing last year. Everything I took, I sold. And that's the way my business and my team runs because we understand the market. The 1 expired, we let it go because we had like 25 offers on that property, but it would have made the seller homeless. So what we did is we got her into a loan mod and then we saved her house in a way.
Yeah.
And then let the listing go expired because that wasn't best for this.
It's still a positive outcome.
Yeah. So even my
Yep.
expired had good news in
Yeah.
it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what people don't get, this is 2023, which was at the end of the height of that crazy COVID market. And people just thought, I'll put my house on the market. It's just
Get
going to
whatever I
snap
want.
up.
Yep.
4 out of 10 did not sell.
Well, it kind of makes sense in a lot of ways because the inventory is only getting bigger for a couple of reasons, and I
Mhm.
guess it could be that a bunch of more people are listing their homes, but I think it's the ones that are on there are lasting longer, and it makes sense to me that the expired numbers would be going up.
Yes, and it's true, but it really makes a difference. And that brought me, so this rents out the hiring, be smart, hire the right agent, make sure they're in production.
Yes.
It reminded me after I went all through that, there was this one house that I visited because the person was a big fan of the show. And I went over there and I looked at the house. It was a really nice home. I don't want to get into it because I did really nice home. Thought it would be relatively easy to sell. They wanted to do seller buyer. So that's, I think, one of the reasons why they called me because I think they wanted to do the simultaneous close.
Sure.
Save thousands of dollars doing that from the moves and the storage center and everything. And then I thought I had the deal. They ended up hiring somebody else. They never called me back. I even went out to show them a property and they just ghosted me. And I was like, what the heck happened? So they hired somebody else. So I've been following that property because I'm sick, right? So that property has been on the market for 74 days, right? Still not sold. But here's the interesting part. When you check out the neighborhood and the general area that he's in, there's something like how many properties? 7 properties have closed since he's been on the market. And I even gave it 30 days after he went on market to give him time to get under contract and close. So I took 30 days out of his 74 and said, I'm going to count that and see how many closed. There were 7 closed. His was not one of them. And there are 4 that went from active to pending, all during the time he's on the market.
Comparable.
And
homes.
my comp is always pretty
Yeah.
comparable.
Yeah.
And he actually is on the lower end of the price brackets for that neighborhood and it still hasn't sold. So then what I did is I went back. I was like, who did he pick to be the realtor? And I found out it was a broker, right? So I was like, oh, well, maybe this guy's got 1 million properties and he knows the area and they told him that they were going to do a great job. Well, when I checked out and I showed him my stats, right? When I sat down at the table, at their dining room table and said, here's my stats. Nobody shows you their stats usually.
Sure.
I open up the MLS and show a good, bad, or indifferent.
Right.
This guy has 1/7 of all the activity I had last year. And he's a broker, and that includes the agents that are in his brokerage.
Ouch.
And I'm one, he's 1/7 of the production. And I sold that house where 50% of the houses in Jupiter, or 50% of the houses don't sell. And I got 3 offers on it. We had a little bidding war, right? So it really does make a difference on the realtor you hire. There's so many people that all they care about, how much commission are you going to charge? How much commission are you going to charge, right? And commissions are very important. And I'm going to give you a seller net sheet to show you where every dime's going and how much you're going to net when you sell the property. But what you should be worried is, how much am I going to make on this deal? And if the commission is a little bit higher, but you're making more money, right? That's
Winning.
a win-win. That's
Winning.
a win-win,
Yes.
right?
So with the on this home, you say it's not priced wrong, and the pictures are okay.
Mm-mm.
Oh, the pictures are bad.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I don't like the presentation of the. This is just my opinion. The photos aren't on point. They don't have enough oomph in the photos, meaning like I think they have a Matterport in there, which is the 3D video that you can control yourself, but they don't have a lot of bells and whistles in there. Make things a little more difficult. The sellers have they work at home, so they have to be very careful about the showings, because sometimes when people work at home, they might have legal or medical records, and you can't be in that room, and they have to have a locked door. It's part of their employment regulations for HIPAA or whatever.
Whatever, sure.
And so you have to be really careful when you have customers like that. So that hurts them a little bit. You know, maybe they lose a few showings because they just can't get in when they want to get in.
Right.
But that house, that house, in my opinion, should have moved. But not a price drop, on the market 70 something days. And
you said it's at the lower end, kind of.
It's the lower end of the bracket. Yeah.
They're not trying to maximize.
Well, I don't know if they're on point for the closing price, but they should be getting offers to negotiate at this point.
Right.
And so anyway, I just thought that was very interesting, of how, selecting the realtor can really make a difference.
Yeah, it's always really been the reality is, and my perspective is that I like to go to people that are great at what they do and follow their lead. We know a lot of people in a lot of different fields that are friends and family members, and we love these people. They're on the Christmas card list. They sit there at our Thanksgiving dinner table. And yes, but the reality is a lot of these people I'm not doing business with. I'm sorry. I love you as a person. You're just not great at what you do. When it comes to buying or selling a home, you have to go to people that are great at what they do. It's going to be one of the biggest transactions of your life. You want to just flippantly go through it with someone that I like them. I mean, that's your decision. For me, I like to make sure I'm going to people that are fantastic at what they do. And with FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, you have a team of pros, experts in their field. And you talk about working cohesively together. If there's an issue, you need some waterfall protection, the safety nets, it's built in. They talk about it. They discuss it. They plan the same way. And it's all about like-mindedness. It's about your outcome. It's not about how much money they're making. Yes, they're in business to make money. But the mindset of this team is making sure you're done the right way. The outcome's perfect for you and your family, and everybody's happy in the long run. And a lot of free information is passed out because they all know that the business will come eventually if you make the right decision to go to the best of the best. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Write it down. Know it, use it, love it, share it. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. If you like to pick up the phone, do it. There's a hotline. You can find it at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. 888-973-7828. It's answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by a live body. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You want to do a break?
Yes. On the flip side, Mike, a fan of the show on YouTube, says he loves the show. I'm really happy. And my mom's saying we're all synced and everything's great.
Did our dude in Auckland go see Tool? Did he respond?
I don't know if he responded or not.
I didn't see a response.
I'm wearing a Tool Army shirt this morning. That is an official Tool dork shirt. If you know, you know.
I didn't know you were an enlisted man.
I am enlisted.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
You're very welcome. Spiral out. Keep going.
So what Mike asked, and we're going to talk about this on the flip side real quick, just to answer his question, because we always try to do that. He wanted to know, what are the best insurance companies in the South Florida area to that give the best rates right now? I thought that's kind of a very consumer-oriented question. We'll start off with that, and then we're going to talk about part one of the Florida Affordability Plan, which is huge news that's happening with citizens. And we're wondering if there's going to be a waterfall moment where this is going to be good for all homeowners, not just citizens insurers
Gotcha.
or citizen policy holders.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about it on the flip side. Thank you, Johnny.
We got a ton to get into. Remember, we take you until 11, pass the baton to the locker room here on Real Radio. So plenty of time for your phone calls, 877-927-6969. If you want to be involved with the conversation at hand, if you have a question for one of the pros in the studio, don't be shy. If you're not comfortable on the radio, always remember access to the entire team at floridatalkrealestate.com. Find us on Facebook and YouTube. We live stream on a Saturday. If you're out there streaming away, thanks for being with us. Of course, you can always catch up and view it later. Lots to consume and do just that. Hit the share button, hit the like button, and thanks for being with us every Saturday. We're back in 4 minutes. Quick little reset right here on Real Radio.
Got something to say?
I got something to say.
Text us at 47142. Start your message with Real Radio. Standard data and message rates apply, and don't text while driving. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. Mostly sunny skies for the rest of the day today. Temperatures will get into the upper 70s, and we could have a few areas west of 95, getting into the lower 80s. We are going to see that isolated rain chance sticking around the forecast throughout the rest of the day today, and also in the overnight hours heading into your Sunday.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DiPaola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation, because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
You're listening to Real Radio 92.1. And we are an iHeart radio station. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DiPaola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
You're more than welcome to join us, 877-927-6969. You want to be involved with the conversation at hand? If you have a question for one of the pros, Jimothy will line you up. At least I believe he will. You'll do that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I assumed. I always feel like that's the safe answer. Good to see you as always, my dude.
Good to see you too, Johnny. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday to you. Today's the 24th of January. Yes, we are live 9:35 on a Saturday. We'll take you up until 11. 2 hours of infotainment is what we promise. Lots of information coming your way. I think we've already gotten attainment out of the way. Johnny C., your old buddy, your old pal, that's me. Mike Rouse over there. He's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. How are you?
I'm good, although is it just information now? No more
I'm not sure.
entertainment?
I haven't seen the full schedule for the show, but
Okay.
yeah.
Mortgage rates. Are,
That's what I was thinking.
mortgage rates were down, up, down.
And here we go.
Right, here we go.
There is a camera in front of like everybody's face in the studio. We're live streaming. You know you're live streaming right now on Facebook and YouTube?
Yeah, I think I knew that. Yeah.
Good.
That's why I usually, put on my best shirts when I come in here.
Yeah, do you do the makeup,
Right.
the hair and makeup?
Johnny, I was thinking the way you left off the show, you're talking about family and friends. I think that could be a new major contribution for you. Like when we do a webinar or seminar or whatever, your segment is how to break the news to your friends and family that you're not using their services for this big moment in your life.
Right. Well, because it is important to communicate because they're going to, especially if they're grudge holders, they're going to hold
after
that.
the fact.
Yeah.
Like, how do you break the news afterwards?
Right.
But how do you have the conversation before?
Right.
Say, hey, listen, I know you talk to me all the time about your real estate business, but I've seen the stats. Like, I just, I know a lot about this.
Right.
Even if you don't, so you're teaching people how to have that conversation.
I would be happy to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I can even, for a small fee, which is negotiable,
you could do that.
I could step in and do it for you.
Have you seen, I get this video. Have you seen that guy? It's like John breaks bad news.
I don't know that I have, but it looks like it's something I should look into.
There's a guy, I think that's actually his website.
That's funny.
But he'll call, ring, phone answer. He's like, hey, this is John from John Breaks Bad News. So-and-so wanted me to let you know, you're the biggest whatever, because he just does it in a super deadpan, just gets it out.
Good.
And the people are like, what? Who is this? Who are you?
It feels like a prank call the whole time.
Yeah. But he
Do
does
they
it,
pay
I'm
him?
sure, for a small fee.
Yeah, they pay. That's a trend. That happened a
Yeah.
bunch of years ago. People used to do that too.
Okay.
It comes out.
It sounds like a radio thing. Like it could have originated in the world of radio.
Feels very radio bitish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a guy. I'm sorry. I know.
No, hold on.
No, I don't.
Who's that even talking?
Yeah,
Hold the thought. Ross Cameronet's Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach is right over here. How are you, my friend?
I am doing well.
You
Thank
also
you.
have a camera aimed at you, just so you know.
Oh, no, I have a friend that for a small fee will go to somebody's house and collect money that they owe you.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a valuable
His
service.
last name
Does-
ends in a vowel.
Yeah, and he's got a bent nose.
Yeah.
What does he drive? Huh? That's an interesting field to get into. You got to know people, though. I mean, hey, and if you have connections and don't use them, what the hell's the worth of having the connection?
It's a niche market.
It really is, though, huh? Good to see you, dude.
Good to be seen.
Curious, who else do you know? Jimmy D's over here, and we interrupted his thought. He's Jim DiPaola, our fearless leader with the Florida Home Pros team. Keller Williams Innovations. He's a top producing Keller Williams team, by the way. What was that thought?
I'm changing thought now because of what Ross said. So I know a guy. I don't know a guy that can get you the money, but I know a guy, and I wrote a story that became international news. This guy Frank, he used to write love letters for guys to give to girls, and he called himself Cyrano de Boynton Beach because he lived in Boynton Beach. So instead of Cyrano de Bergerac, he called himself Cyrano de Boynton Beach.
That's awesome.
And used to pay him, and he would ask you all these questions about the woman and you and experiences you had and everything. And then he'd write a beautiful love letter and charge you to send it over to him. I wanted to do. When I met him, was a journalist, and I wrote this feature story for Valentine's Day. So it was a really big international like feature story all over the world. But I thought that would make a really good kind of like TV sitcom-y series where this guy goes around and tries to become like a Cupid kind of thing.
Yeah, that falls in love with the girls.
Yeah, and like
something
matching them all up
Right.
and everything.
Oh,
but
then he falls in love.
But
he
he got
falls in love
the
with
funny
that
part
guy,
was he was like, I don't want to do that because he was a writer too, and I was a writer, right? So he was like, I'm not doing anything. I want to do it my way. And he fell off the face of the earth, I think. Poor Frank.
Yeah, I think I like the idea, and I think it's a good setup for like a movie or a show.
Yeah,
book,
yeah,
whatever.
like they do.
But you're really setting yourself up for the fall, because at some point she'll be like, "You're not romantic anymore. Things have changed." You're like, "What do you mean?" Well, you don't write me those
it.
love letters anymore.
Anymore.
And you're like, "Oh, I'm screwed." Like if you don't maintain contact with Mr. Boynton Beach, you're setting yourself up. Or
You
you
got
better.
ChatGPT now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same
Yeah.
thing.
That's true.
You
Yeah. What
know,
do we
you
need
tell
him
it
for?
about your experiences,
Yeah, that's
great.
what you want to convey.
I mean, the guy is named after the original. Like the story's already been done.
It's been done.
Yeah.
Well, it's
and
Hollywood.
It was redone in the 80s.
There's no original ideas anymore.
Right?
We
What
just
was
gotta do it
what was
better.
the one with Steve Martin?
The jerk?
No,
That's what I think of. Yeah. Three Amigos.
no, it's the Cyrano de Bergerac story. It's Roxanne was the movie.
Yeah,
With the big
Roxanne
nose.
with Steve Martin.
Yeah.
I love that movie. That movie.
I remember.
Steve Martin
Why
was
didn't you
awesome
Why
in
didn't you
that
pull
movie.
that until I said it? I said Steve Martin. What was the movie?
I
on
was
the topic?
texting.
He's like, oh yeah, Roxanne. I love that movie. Steve Martin.
I
right?
was
Okay.
replying to our audio or
Yeah.
video audience. Sorry.
I'll pull it for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Pull
So
it
I'm
all
just
you want,
saying
buddy.
it's been done as a movie.
Yeah, I know
Right?
it has. It
Yeah,
has.
yeah.
Yep. Um.
Cyrano de Boynton Beach. Like it.
Okay, so first we want to answer Mike's question. The question he had is hey Ross, are there like better companies in Florida that you should just naturally go to for insurance, or like how does that work?
Well, I think first you're going to have to talk to an agent. Just there's only, I can think of maybe one or two companies that will talk to you directly.
Oh, really?
But there's not really a best insurance company or the company with the best rates right now. Just it really depends on how old your roof is, where you're located. There's a lot that goes into it than just, okay, hey, this company's the best rate, go get rates from them. Just because if that was the case, there'd be no other companies in business right now. So really depends on where you are, how old your roof is, how much dwelling coverage you have. There's just kind of a lot that goes into it rather than be able to say like, oh, this company's the best. But you should really just talk to an agent or an independent agent who has access to all the carriers. Just from looking at the comments, it sounds like you just kind of went online and Googled cheap insurance rates to get a quote. And then if you do that, then your phone's just going to be blown up with people calling you, or it just turns into a lead that they sell. And then you get agents calling you that buy leads.
Oh, they do that with you too in your industry?
I mean, it is something that.
No, I don't do it either, but they do it in your
Oh
industry.
yeah, homeowners like insurance leads are that's a big business.
Yeah, that's like expireds, right? So if your house goes expired or canceled as a realtor, MLS, again, not with realtor permission, but MLS takes that information and then sells it to data companies. And the data companies package it and then sell it to the agents to either call or contact to say, hey, do you want to put your house back on the market kind of thing. When you go expired, I don't know the most recent statistics, but about 10 years ago when I knew a lot about this, 300 phone calls and pieces of mail come in the first 90 days when you went expired.
300.
300. Your phone just blows up. It's so bad. I feel so bad for the customers. And they think it's the realtor or something, and we have no control over it. We would prefer that.
Yeah, it's the same thing when you do, if a mortgage professional pulls your credit, the credit bureaus compile those lists and sell them to people who buy leads, right? So somebody's had their credit pulled by a mortgage professional. They're interested in getting a loan. Your phone is going to start blowing up. And the way that they justify that at the credit bureau level is they're offering you a service. They're providing you an opportunity to explore options for obtaining your mortgage.
That's easily justified.
And I'm sure it's the same. It's the same thing. Like when you close on your home, you start getting mail, and like they're all the junk mail, I'll call it. They're solicitations, right? And it's just like, hey, we're offering you something that you wouldn't know about otherwise. That's how it's justified. You guys have all bought a home, so you get the letter about, call us. It's urgent. It's the urgent matter related to your mortgage with the mortgage firm. And so they're like, oh, geez, this is my lender. No, read the fine print at the bottom. It's always like, hey, we're not affiliated with your lender, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they're trying to sell you some sort of insurance product, right? Not homeowners insurance, but an insurance, almost like a life insurance, like a disability insurance, insurance for your thing. What's the other one? The payment acceleration. That's a very common one that you'll get, Jim, where it's like, hey, let's get you into a system, pay off your loan, 8 years early. And it's just about paying extra principal, right? Which is fine. It's great conceptually. A lot of people know about that 13th payment. But if you're going to pay somebody to manage that for you, then you're kind of you're taking with one hand and giving back with the other one.
Right.
What's the other one? The other one, the great one, Jim. This is amazing. I'm going to sell you a certified copy of your deed, your warranty deed.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
so you're going to get a letter. It's like, hey, your deed, if you'd like, we'll sell you for $90 or $98.
That's so true.
And I'm just like, no, just go to the county website. You can print it out anytime you want. And if you want like an embossed, certified copy, just go to the county office and ask them for one. And
just
they'll
ask
do it.
the county clerk. I think they pay $10 or something for it.
So we just, we live in that world where your information gets, whatever. It's the same thing with marketing. I mean, your phone is listening to you. And
always.
It's all about marketing.
Now what I have
Don't believe
to
us,
do,
talk about some random stuff and we'll see what pops up on your phone the next day.
well, now what I do is when if people call me, if my phone's blown, I actually ask them, "Are you AI?" And twice this week, it paused and it says, "Yes, I'm Anna, the AI assistant. I can help you with any of your questions." Blah 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 blah. And you have to do that nowadays. No, and then it's like because they're calling me. I'm not calling them, right? They're calling me. I'm like, "Are you AI?" It's like, "Yeah," and I hang up.
Hey, thank you.
We're going to get into the next segment. The next segment, this is part of the Florida Affordability Plan. When I call it a plan, I wish they map this all out. Maybe they are behind the scenes, but they're not presenting it to the public as an affordability plan. But I feel like these two components that I'm going to talk about today with you guys, see what you guys think, could really be a big benefit to the people that have been pent-up demand. There's so much pent-up demand right now for people that want to buy that can't. We've had pent-up demand now since early 2023. We were looking at charts yesterday in that seminar I took with the top agents, and they were showing all these stats. I don't have the graphics here with me, but bottom line is from 2023 until really today, there's a huge pent-up demand of people that would normally buy in a normal life cycle that haven't bought yet. So, and the reason why that is higher interest rates than before. Double whammy is the high prices they have to pay compared to years before. And then the triple whammy is homeowners insurance, right? Then if you live in a condo, then you got a quadruple whammy, which is deal with all the reserves and structural integrity stuff and everything. But for single family, that's the triple whammy right now. So this is what the big news is. For the first time in over a decade, Florida regulators haven't just approved a rate cut with Citizens. They first initially approved it, and now they tripled the rate cut. So they were thinking that they were going to cut Citizens insurance by 2.7%. And now the Florida Office's insurance regulations approved an average of 8.7% rate decrease for Citizens policyholders. That's big, I think, right?
That's
8.7.
the average, which means some people are getting a lot more than that.
Yes, Palm Beach County.
Really?
Palm Beach County is getting 11.9% on average. Now, this is average. Not everybody's getting it. It depends. Okay, these are only Citizens too. And Dade and Broward are even doing better at 14% for Dade and 14.1% for Broward. My big question, so I think this is really good news for the citizens. It's going to help with lower mortgage payments and things like that, lower costs. But my big question is, we have that whole depopulation thing that we've been talking about over the last several shows, where if Citizens finds out that they have a policy that is less than 20% higher than Citizens, and the company's willing to insure you, they depopulate you from Citizens. You have to move over to that company. Correct, Ross? Did I say that correctly?
Mhm.
So tell me, on this, was this surprising to you at all? Because they approved this January 20th. This was just a couple of days ago.
I mean, we haven't really, honestly, written a new Citizens policy in a couple months,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty crazy from
That's awesome.
Oh, now you're going to have to because
what
the
we
rates
did
are
6
so
months
low.
ago. But I mean, they're not even getting, to be honest, they haven't really been that amazingly competitive, where even if you took a 10% off of it, we're still seeing other carriers come in better.
So you're saying that the 8.7, that 20% doesn't change a lot, because this would tell me if they were dropping it that low, that because of that Depop figure, they're expecting that the insurance companies, I would expect the insurance companies that their rates would be commensurately dropping.
Well, Ross just said they're already like not
They're
as
already kinda
competitive.
there.
So even if they're wiggling down a little bit, maybe they're just starting to get competitive. Maybe.
I mean, they're not designed to be competitive.
That's right.
No, they're right. They're
So
not
this
designed.
is to me is an indication of a much healthier marketplace for you.
But even if it is, okay, so Citizens is better or
Mhm.
less expensive. Right now, if you have a dwelling coverage with Citizens that's over 400,000, you're going to have to get flood insurance.
If no matter where you are,
No
you have to
matter
get flood
where
insurance
you
now?
are right now, if your dwelling
I
coverage is
forgot
over
about that.
400,000, next year it's going to be if you just get Citizens at all, you're going to have to get flood insurance as well.
How much is flood insurance now? Because back in the day when we talked about it, Ross, this is years ago, I used to budget if you weren't in a flood zone, that it cost you like $1 a day. So when I lived in Wellington, I had this lake behind me, and I figured, what the heck, for $1 a day just in case, right?
Earth days or Mars days?
Yeah, exactly. So, how does flood? I know that flood insurance rates went up since then. So, if you're not in a flood zone, how much do flood? Like, how different is it compared to being in a flood zone?
I mean, again, that's not something that you can say anymore, because back then they used to have just non high risk flood zone rates. They were just standard numbers with standard. The coverages were standard and the numbers were standard. Now each home for flood insurance is kind of rated individually. Even if you're in a high risk flood zone, it could be $500 or, it could be $2,000. I saw a flood insurance quote the other day for $263.
Nice.
So it's not expensive. And if you get a new business, if you call us for a quote, we're also going to send you a flood insurance quote too. And it's usually between $400 and $600, unless you're in a high risk zone, then we could, you can get an elevation certificate or something, but it's not expensive.
So, most of this, though, the news, like Johnny says, is good news, right? That we're seeing rates really drop dramatically now.
Oh yeah. I mean, the carriers are all putting out emails to us and stopping by and, hey, our rates are dropped, we're dropping rates, or, we dropped our rates and we're going to drop them again. And it's awesome that rates are coming down and, there's more carriers that are offering coverage. But I think as the consumer needs to be aware is, when you get a quote, I think the first two questions you should ask are, how is my roof covered? And what is my water damage coverage? And do I have a copay? Dude, they're coming out with copays now. I saw a copay.
How does that work?
So let's say that you've got a $2,500 deductible for non-hurricane deductible, and you have a $50,000 water claim. Your deductible is $2,500. You would expect to get $47,500. Oh, but you have a copay, so you're only going to get whatever 80% of that 47.5, which is what 36, something.
So you have a 20% copay
deductible.
On
That's
top
like
of your
hiding
deductible.
your deductible.
Yeah.
On top of your deductible.
Yeah, but it's kind of hiding what your real deductible
Oh,
is.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, those are three questions, because right now I see a lot of, we always try to replacement cost coverage on the roof. We're seeing a lot of mortgage underwriters catch those actual cash value coverages on the declarations page and say, no, we won't accept it. So we're always trying to quote with replacement cost coverage. Can we make it cheaper by going actual cash value on the roof? Absolutely. but that's that's not what we want to do.
It's not
So
the
when
right
you get
coverage.
a quote
Yeah.
and you see the premiums low, ask those kind of 3 questions. How's my roof covered? Is it covered at replacement cost or actual cash value? What's my water damage coverage? Do I have full water damage? Do I have limited water damage? Or is it excluded altogether? And then do I have a copay?
That's really great tips. And you were talking about last week about being underinsured. A lot of people are underinsuring themselves now because they don't understand this. I just put out your Facebook post that you put out there explaining, are you covered properly? And you had the bullet points, Ross, where you talked about things you should be covered for. And we put that on our Florida Talk Facebook page if you want to go and check that out. Here are 2 other things that are happening, though, in the insurance industry. So that's the great news in my mind.
I just gave Ross my declaration page this morning.
Yeah, I got fingers crossed.
Stop
I
it
got
out.
fingers out. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm saving $100 a month. Wouldn't that be awesome?
The worst part is I emailed him like, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago now. He's like, just shoot me your deck page. I was like, all right, 10-4. Idiot.
Here it is, hand delivered.
That
Yeah,
darn
I got
internet, it takes 6 months to get things through that internet.
Yeah.
I got an email from a client, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, and it was a response. It said, hey, a little bit ago, you asked me what I needed for proof that I had a new roof. And he was responding to an email from 2023 when he put the new roof on.
Oh,
So you're not that bad, Johnny.
No, thank you for boosting me up.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You're not a slacker, right?
Oh my
hey,
goodness.
I have a question on the citizens discount thing.
Mhm.
So are they saying that you're going to get, I'll just call it a 9%. Are you going to get a 9% discount from your current policy or from like what the rates would have been if they didn't apply this discount? Like, so is it really an increase? But you know what I'm saying? It's like, is it one of those
The
types
research
of things?
I did, I don't know. It didn't explain what
Okay.
that rate decrease meant. What do you think, Ross? Do you? I
Yeah,
know
so it's just going to be, so if they're, whatever, if you call it, they're charging $10 per $1,000 of dwelling coverage, right? That's just their rate.
Okay.
If they're going to take call it a 10% decrease, then they're going to charge $9 per $1,000 of dwelling coverage. Kind of very simple.
Okay. All right.
So-
that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah,
So
from
they're
their
basically-
current rate, right?
Got it. All right.
I want to get through these other 2 points pretty quick because I do want to take the break, and then we're going to go into part 2 of the affordability plan. This part's the insurance. There's 2 other things that are happening in the insurance industry. A little nervous about this one. They call this the hot potato. Remember how we've talked on the show about people who have been complaining that they're in forced arbitration? Citizens will put you into forced arbitration immediately once you make a claim, right? Well, now there's a bill out, HB 863 in Florida, that would end mandatory binding arbitration for citizens policy holders. So what this means is currently citizens can force you into arbitration to settle a claim. This bill would restore the policyholder's choice to go to court or stay in arbitration. And we back to people just suing the insurance company with fraud. Does this open up to a fraud angle? What do you guys think about that if they do allow the citizens to get,
Well,
if homeowners to get the right to
you'd
sue
still have to,
citizens?
you still have to pay your attorney out of pocket, right? It's no more,
It doesn't say in this, and that's what I'm thinking.
because that's a big part
Mhm.
of it. You know what I mean? That eliminates a lot of
Mm.
fraud potential because people just are like, well, it's not legit. I'm not coming out of pocket.
Plus, the attorneys are not willing to take it
Right.
on contingency, essentially.
Right.
Yeah, I kind
Right.
of agree with that.
But when I first heard of this, Jim, I think we probably heard about it at the same time, where citizens were basically saying, hey, it's arbitration. And guess what? We're putting you in it whether you like it or not. And guess what? We're winning 90-something% of these arbitration,
and guess what? We
settlements.
pay the
Right,
arbitrators. We pay and pick the arbitrators.
when I heard that, I was like, "Wait, what is that?" Like, so basically, citizens
wrong.
is saying you're doing it our way or no way at all. And so, undoing that part of it doesn't sound like a terrible idea.
as long as I feel like they have the protection that the attorneys can't abuse the system again, where, like we explained before, as long as that the insurance company had to pay $1, they would have to pay all the attorney fees for the homeowner, as long as in the lawsuit that they got $1 in claims, only $1. So all your legal fees were paid by the insurance company. I really feel like that's unfair to the insurance company because there could be a lot of abuse. So I'm hoping that, as Mike is saying,
if I were citizens and I really believed that we were doing the right thing as far as claims go, and we're winning the 90-something% of the arbitration, because it's not because we offered nothing, it's because we offered to settle the claim at a reasonable number,
Right.
then I wouldn't be too worried about it.
Who cares,
Right? Just
right?
keep doing your thing. You're going to prevail most of the time because you're doing the right thing. So, it seemed like an overreach.
There is
and maybe
cost.
unnecessary.
Yeah, there is some cost that they have to, they have to pay their attorney fees to go.
Yeah,
to
and
court,
it could drag on longer,
Mhm.
and you have more of this kind of like unknown area of their, the asset position,
right?
So it's much nicer to like know exactly where every dollar is going, where it's allocated, and not have this big mystery zone. So I can see that. But if they're doing the right thing and they're paying claims in a fair way, it shouldn't really be that different. The results, they shouldn't expect huge, differences in the results. Now, if they haven't been doing the right thing,
well,
that should make their
they're not the
management
only
nervous.
ones too. There's the private carriers also have mandatory. Some of the carriers have mandatory arbitration written in their contracts too.
Right in the contract. Yeah.
Mm. I wonder if that'll change for them because this says just citizens. So maybe they still could have forced arbitration. I don't know. Now here's the next thing that's happening in the insurance industry. HB House Bill 815 in Florida, roof age protections. Effective this year, a new bill, if it's passed, it's making its way through the subcommittees right now. This is as of early January. That would prohibit insurers from denying coverage solely based on the age of the roof. It has to be on the condition of the roof, as long as the roof is less than 15 years old. So,
I didn't really understand that because in 22 they had that same protection that if the roof was 15 years old or less, and you could prove that it had 5 years of life left, and the insurance company accepted and it was still in good shape.
But there were a number of carriers that weren't offering policies if your roof was older than 5 years, right?
At one time, yeah. There was one time where it was 1 year.
1 year.
It's 1 year.
Yeah.
So
they didn't want
replace your roof. It's 1 year old.
Listen, if I were the insurer, I would say, yeah, no problem. But guess what? Your 12-year-old roof, the premium's going to be this. And so they can easily like dissuade people from writing a policy just by making the premium so high, right? Like, so unless they also do something with that, it's just easy for the carrier.
I kind of agree. Obviously, legislators a lot of times, just from doing my old career, they're very behind on what's actually happening, and they fix problems that were already fixed, but it was a problem, but it took so long to get the thing done. They fixed it a different way, or it didn't matter anymore.
Or maybe kind of
that this might be one of those, but I would assume that if they're creating the bill that they're filling a gap or stopping a gap that they saw that was a problem, I'm guessing. So we're going to keep an eye on those two bills. They're not passed yet, those two things, right? So forced arbitration, age of roof is still in play. We'll keep an eye on it and keep you updated as it goes through.
I wonder whoever wrote or sponsored this bill maybe having a hard time with their age of their roof.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
their brother-in-law is or something. You know what I mean? It might be very self-serving.
It's very cynical, Johnny.
Yes, it is. And I admittedly am very cynical.
The happy view is like the politicians are concerned about their constituents.
Oh, yes.
That's
where I should
coming
have
from the constituents and not some sort of lobby or some sort of industry.
I don't know how I got this cynical.
Yeah.
Well, their brother-in-law is a constituent.
Yes, he would be, Jimmy.
That's right.
Yes.
Happens to be an executive.
Thanks for being on my rosy side of the cynical aisle.
Brother-in-law's, he's an executive at Big Law or Big Insurance or, whatever it is. Right.
Let's go ahead and take the break.
Let's do it.
We're going to do the affordability plan part 2. What is it? Ending property taxes. I learned a lot doing research this week. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that we can talk about that I learned about. Excellent. And you're going to learn too.
And we've talked about it before, Jim. So I wonder how much of the stuff that we've thought about it initially when it came up is wrong.
Yeah, good point. We're going to get through the whole thing and we're going to learn a lot as we go along on that. So that will be part 2 of the affordability plan. These two prongs could make a huge difference in affordability in Florida, which would be really great.
Excellent.
If they work.
We're going to do a quick reset. We get back at it. Look, people oftentimes do the right thing for the wrong reasons and still the right thing no matter how you get there. Hey, there's no wrong reason, though, for reaching out to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. If you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, you need a pro's pro. And anything that touches the world of real estate, Florida Talk Real Estate, the one-stop real estate shop, is ready for you. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it on Facebook, on YouTube, and always hit the share and like button. You can really change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday right here on Real Radio.
We're everywhere you need to be.
I've been everywhere, man.
Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio. Real Radio weather.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. Mostly sunny skies for the rest of the day today. Temperatures will get into the upper 70s, and we could have a few areas west of 95 getting into the lower 80s. We are going to see that isolated rain chance sticking around in the forecast throughout the rest of the day today, and also in the overnight hours heading into your Sunday.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder. Now just $189. Valid through $130 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Details at Lowes.com.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DiPaola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because FloridaTalkRealEstate.com has you covered. That's FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. Talk Real Estate with Jim DiPaola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Sliding into hour number 2 of 2 hours of infotainment on a Saturday, January 24th. It's about 10:10 on the clock. Yeah, thanks for being with us on Facebook, on YouTube, live streaming away, Florida Talk Real Estate on both. And of course, if you got us on the radio or your iHeartRadio app, we appreciate you very much. You're more than welcome to join us. You just heard the toll-free number, 877-927-6969. Jimothy will line you up if you dial in. What's up, my dude?
Hello, and good morning.
Good morning. Johnny C., that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. Mike Rao is the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. He's in studio.
He is.
Nice to see you.
Hi.
Hello.
Good morning, all.
Roscoe Marinetz is with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach, also in studio on a Saturday. Hello, Ross.
Hello, present and accounted for.
Present here.
Present here.
And there's Jimmy D, Jim DiPaola with the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. That's a top producing Keller Williams team. Hello, Jimmy D.
I got to say it. Bueller.
Anyone? Anyone?
So, okay. Let's talk about part 2 of the affordability plan. Last segment, we just talked about how we're seeing insurance rates dropping a lot. Citizens is dropping their, is quadrupling the drop that they thought they were going to do for 2026. Ross is saying that it really is immaterial because all the other companies have already been dropping so low that Citizens is almost becoming almost not a factor, which it would be an awesome thing. It would only be for really people that really need insurance, not citizens.
Real intent.
Yeah. Now, so what is part 2? Part 2 is can the Florida legislators really do the holy grail of real estate, which is eliminate property taxes? We've been talking about this for about a year, and they threw all kinds of things on the table, all different ideas from all over the state. All these people came up with ideas. There was even one idea a few months ago where they were going to give us something like 7 proposals to vote on, which would have been just a hot mess. Governor shut that down. He was like, no way, that doesn't make sense.
No sense.
But now they have a more serious plan. Now, this was voted on through committees about a week and a half ago, but this is kind of interesting because this might be a maybe where they're going to put it up for a vote and see what happens to the public.
Might be a maybe.
Might be a maybe.
Might be a maybe. So the 10-year, it's
Might
called a
be
10-year
maybe.
countdown. It's called a 10-year countdown. And what they're trying to do is they want to give a extra $100,000 homestead exemption every year for homesteaded properties every year for 10 years. And that would almost basically eliminate almost everybody's tax bill. Now, when I say tax bill, you're still paying a tax bill, and I'm going to explain that little catch later. But to reduce the property taxes for homeowners, they're thinking about dropping $100,000 every year. So in Port St. Lucie, the median home value is like $405,000. So if they pass this law this year and it went into effect for the first $100,000 this year, by the end of 2030, no more property taxes for them. Right? Can you imagine the median homeowner over there is not going to have a property tax bill related to this. So that would be a pretty big deal. It would have a pretty big impact. Now, you're still going to get a bill. Okay. When I say you eliminate property taxes, you're still paying for the school district, the fire, the police, and that kind of thing. Because in this bill, they're saying you can't touch any of that. So you're still going to get your bill. We're going to talk later about how much of a reduction you would get if you're still paying the schools and the other things. I have an answer for that, at least for now. Now, here are the 3 big catches of this program. And I'm sorry for the last thing I want to say. This bill, what they're saying is by 2037, the goal is for every homesteaded property in Florida to be non-school tax-free. That would be the plan, 2037.
Homesteaded properties.
Homesteaded properties only. So here's the catches, okay? If you're an investor or you own a second home, right, this bill is not for you, okay? This bill is not going to help you at all. In fact, in other states, what's happened is sometimes since they're taking so less money from the homesteaded properties, they lean on the non-homesteaded properties to make up that difference, which means a bigger burden on those people. So that might not be in your favor. The other thing is the school tax factor. You're still going to get a bill. So this bill only touches the taxes that go to the city, the county, and special districts. Okay. School district is left alone. So you're still going to be paying that. And then there's a protection about police and fire, not to cut that, to cut those. You're not allowed to do cutbacks on that because you're not pulling in as much money if you're a city or a county agency.
And money for like infrastructure, roads and stuff like that, that's all not touched either? Is that?
No, that's all part of county and city government, unless it's state. There might, because they get state funds, like when you're doing something with 95 or the turnpike or major collector roads, the state will give grants to the county or the city to help build that road or upgrade that road or bridge.
Okay.
So it gets a little complicated on that. Now, here's the thing. If they do this, the state is going to have to figure out how to fill a $13 billion hole. Okay. So there's a lot of talk based on other states that have tried this.
Per year?
Yes, 13 billion per year, Mike. Thank you.
Why is it the state's burden? Because this breaks down to county.
No, it isn't the state's burden. There's a $13 billion hole for county government, city government.
The way it was just framed was the state had to make it. It was like, well, the state doesn't have anything.
Well,
to do.
yes,
Counties.
they do, because they're telling the cities. Yes, they do, because they're telling the cities and counties, you're not allowed to collect these fees anymore. So the state is stripping away income from all these government agencies to do all the stuff that we do for government services. So it's going to be the state's responsibility to fill that hole. You know, and they might kick it back down to the local level, but they're the ones taking away all this money.
Yeah, I would think the counties would have to find a way to fill the gap.
Or they do.
We're going to get into that with the different states about different attitudes, how they handle this. Go ahead, Mike.
They just do less. Their budget gets
that
smaller.
Could happen. Yeah,
and they just have to do less.
There's
no
one
way.
state.
What a concept.
Yeah, there's one state.
Well,
spend less money.
It sounds good, but is it?
Have you told anybody about this plan?
I've got a Royal Palm tax bill up here,
right?
Just so you can kind of see the categories of what's funded with your property taxes.
Don't do that yet, Mike. I got a whole segment on it. Okay, just hold on. We're getting there, though. No, hold on to it, because just a couple other points I got to make. So how are they thinking about filling this $13 billion hole? What they're talking about is raising the sales tax. And according to some preliminary analysis, the sales tax would jump from the current 6% to 12%.
That crushes.
So every time you buy milk or buy a pair of shoes or you buy clothes or you go any place, you're going to be paying 12% all the time. Think about 12%. So you buy something for $100, you're going to pay an extra $12, just to pay for taxes.
Hopefully they would, like, if they did that, the essentials like milk, stuff like that would be kind of exempt from that, or keep it at a lower bracket.
They could actually do that. Like certain types of products can't get that.
Yeah, just
they
like
have
when,
a different tax.
Like when you go back to school, those 2 weeks, like, all those
tax holiday.
Yeah, you get that tax holiday for, the school supplies and all that. So
Essentials aren't taxed in Florida. I don't remember if they are. Like,
they already do some level of that.
Yeah.
They do have
Toilet
some
paper,
tax breaks
certain
for like baby formula and diapers sometimes and things like that.
Okay.
But this, you go to Burger King, you go to a fast food restaurant, you go to a restaurant, anything, it's like, you're paying double what you would pay in sales tax.
Well, and the burden really falls on the lower income bracket.
The poorest.
It really hits them the hardest. I think that is the worst option that we could ever pick.
So that's why this is a good segue.
I'll vote no against that. Actually,
that's the worst.
I think that's terrible. It's great from a homesteader perspective. I'm like, yes, until all of a sudden you're like, oh, now all the poor people are going to suffer because you don't pay taxes.
Or they're just going to shift it. Like, what do you pay in sales tax every year? And what if that doubled? Like, just on your own household.
Yeah.
What do you pay in sales tax every year? It's 6%. So
we're all going to feel that, but some feel it way harder.
Way
than
harder,
others.
right?
Yeah, and that's just
right.
But I could think of a worse one.
Oh, probably could dig up some worse. Yeah.
Income tax.
Or
income tax.
All your payments done through a chip in your neck, and you actually, how about this one? All the payments done through a chip in your neck, and you only pay 12% if you're a homesteader property owner. Everybody else pays the normal sales tax, because we're going to chip paying anyway. Eventually, let's just fast forward.
That would be that would be the epitome of ridiculousness, right? Like, we're going to give you a break on your property tax, but you specifically are going to pay more in sales tax.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So let's do the chart first, okay? Because Mike, you were pulling up that chart. So let me tell you what I found out and see what you say, okay? So what I did is I went and looked at just Palm Beach County to give an idea of South Florida, where their money's going when they pay the property tax bill, percentage-wise, right? So the school district accounts for 40% of your property tax bill in Palm Beach County. 28% of your tax bill goes to county operating to operate the county. 21% is fire rescue. Healthcare districts, hospitals and stuff is 4%. Children's services are 3%. And the library system for the area is 4%. Okay. Now, what they're saying is everything but the school district, all of that's going to disappear in your property tax bill. So you're losing your county operating costs, your fire rescue, or your city, right? Your fire rescue, your healthcare district, your children's services, and your library system.
All gone.
Not covered. Well, not necessarily gone, but not covered
through taxes.
Got to figure out how to pay for all that stuff. And that's just, I'm sure, the tip of the iceberg. Mike, what did you find out?
There's actually not that much more than that, but there's also the South Florida Water Management District. Now,
Okay.
Now this is in Royal Palm, and that would be several areas with that. Royal Palm Beach operating, right? So you mentioned county operating, the
City.
healthcare district, Everglades construction, children's services, library, and then fire and rescue.
So there's a lot of things that are quality of life things that would be going away or changing, and that's what their payoff's going to be. You know, you're going to lose. In this kind of thing, you're always going to have winners and losers. So that got me to the next thing. Who else has tried this and has it worked anywhere else? That's what I was doing research, and I found 4 states where, and this goes all the way back to 1994. I dug pretty deep. 4 states have tried this, and I wanted to give some examples of what happened. Michigan, right? 1994 is when Michiganders, they started in 1994. Michigan is the most famous historical example of actually pulling the trigger of actually abolishing property taxes. The action in 1993, the legislature took the radical step of simply abolishing local property taxes for school operations with no replacement plan initially in place. The result, they had now this is 1994 numbers, they had to fill a $6.9 billion hole. Ours is $13 billion, right? Voters eventually passed, because they had to fill that hole, everything got crazy over there in Michigan. So the voters passed Proposal A. And the outcome is they didn't really abolish taxes, they shifted them. And what happened is the sales tax jumped in, this is 1993, 94. It went from 4 to 6%. They raised the taxes on cigarettes, and they created a statewide property tax to replace the local one. So all they did is move all the things around to get the $6.9 billion, right?
Yeah.
So it did reduce the burden on the homeowners by about 30%. So they did get the analysis was in 1990, after they did all this stuff, the homeowners did see a 30% decrease in the property taxes.
So how long before they flip back and just?
I don't know. I think it's still like that. 1994,
it's still like that.
That's the way they decided
So
to
it's
do it.
working for
It's
them.
the only one I know of. Okay, so now number 2, North Dakota. The voters said no way, Jose, in this state, and they tried it twice. They tried it in 2012 and 2024, so very recently. So what happened in both 2012 and November 2024? Citizen-led initiatives went to the ballot to constitutionally ban property taxes based on assessed value. Okay? I don't know how they wanted to do it, but they didn't want to do it based on assessed value. It was soundly defeated both times. And in 2024, 64% of the voters said, no way, we don't want that. The outcome, voters were scared off by a massive coalition of firefighters, teachers, and local officials who argued the plan would gut essential services. The state estimated it would cost $3.15 billion every 2 years with no clear replacement revenue. So
do less.
North Dakota's like, no way, Jose. Right? We don't want to.
Sounds
do
like
that.
they didn't come up with an alternate plan.
No.
Right.
We're just like, oh,
They
we're just
just
gonna
kept trying it over and
we're
over
just going to
again.
eliminate it.
So now Texas, right? We know a little bit about Texas. Everybody's heard that they tried this a while back. Just year and a half ago or something. Much like Florida, Texas, which also has no state income tax. All those other two states, they have state income tax. Texas is the only one in this example that has no state income tax. So they're most like us. Much like Florida and Texas, which has no income tax, is currently debating a massive elimination also. Governor Greg Abbott has made, what did I say that's funny? Massive elimination.
Yes.
Oh my God, Mike.
Sorry. I can't help it. Timothy's not laughing, but
You
if he
guys
was
are funny.
listening, he'd be laughing.
Governor Abbott.
Massive elimination, Jimmy.
Governor
I had
Abbott.
one this morning.
Sorry.
That's right. Governor Greg Abbott has made eliminating school property taxes for homeowners the centerpiece of his 2026 campaign. It has caused a rift in the GOP. While the governor wants full elimination using state surpluses, the lieutenant governor has warned it's unrealistic without a massive sales tax hike. So,
well, at least in Florida, they're not talking about eliminating funding for schools. They're specifically protecting the funding for the schools. That's a tough angle.
What Texas is trying to do is what the governor is saying. We have so much waste, fraud, and abuse that we don't even need to do anything. We're just going to get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse, and that's going to take care of the problem of this deficit. But let's see how much waste, fraud, and abuse is out there. I think people, if this is passed, they're going to be screaming to the heaven that I can't believe this program was taken away or this service was
it looks
taken
like
away.
we're never getting the electrical grid updated.
Yeah,
ever.
exactly. Right. Enron still lives over there. Right. So, so let me see. Now, the last one I want to talk about is, I think this is the last one. The last one.
Did you see their senator bailed on them again as their storm was coming in?
Oh, wow.
Cruz left again? No way.
Yeah, he's got stones, doesn't he? He's like,
you know who that
on vacation?
Yeah,
you know what I want to,
because
it's a good time to go. It's going to get cold.
This is a love Dr. Refness. He's the Dr. Glenn.
He bails
of the.
He bails when the storm's coming.
Dr. Glenn had a very good, probably not deserved reputation that every time a hurricane came, he disappeared out of the area.
Yeah,
if
you're an old
God
radio
bless him.
listener, you get that. It's funny. And if you don't, it's still funny.
Well, there's it.
No, I'm just saying.
There it goes. That's nice to hear his voice again, to be honest with you. It's nice. Pennsylvania, the fourth state we're going to talk about. This was the State Bill 76 saga. In Pennsylvania, property tax elimination isn't just a proposal. It's a decades-long movement led by a coalition of over 70 taxpayer groups that have been trying to eliminate property taxes for decades in Pennsylvania.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, it's just like a thing going on over there. So the most recent bill was in 2026. It's Senate Bill 962.
2026? Wow.
Yeah, this is still happening. They're still trying to do it. The primary vehicle, while there is massive grassroots support for this bill to eliminate property taxes, once again, it was excluded from the final 2025-2026 state budget because lawmakers couldn't agree on how to fill the resulting $11 billion revenue hole. So in 2026, their deficit is very similar to our deficit. We have 13 billion. They have 11 billion. So the proposed trade now to get zero school property taxes, Pennsylvania would have to either increase the personal income tax, because they're an income tax state, from 3.07 to 4.95, okay, or increase the sales tax from 6% to 7%.
What's the point?
That's what I'm saying
if
right
all
now.
you're doing is shifting the tax burden somewhere else.
Yeah.
Then you're not eliminating anything.
So
they're shifting who pays the tax.
Yes, but what would happen if this was passed? And I'm not advocating it. We're just throwing out the proposals. I'm not for it, against it right now. It's interesting.
I love that everybody's thinking about it because I think it's something that should be very seriously looked at.
And it's also kind of a shift between a mandatory tax, which is like, okay, if you're a property owner, you have a mandatory tax. Whereas if it were a sales tax, it would be kind of like a consumption,
Voluntary.
It's consumption. So you could cut back on your consumption and pay less taxes. But, there's people who, buy stuff, right? And
I was at a Bud's Chicken and Seafood on Lake Worth Road day before yesterday.
Love Bud's brownies.
I do love Bud's food. But anyway, I was over there. it was really disconcerting to me to see how many what looked like people that were in very tough personal life situations. And
don't cook at home.
And let me tell you that extra 12%, one guy was complaining that his meal didn't come with a drink, and he had a conniption fit about it. And you could tell that he wanted that drink. He needed that drink in a way. If I don't know how to be diplomatic about this. And the lady felt so bad. She's like, she said, the drink doesn't come with it. And he was so upset. She just like, let me give you a drink.
Here's a drink.
Yeah, here's a drink. And there's people like that. So a 12% sales tax from a 6%, that's make or break for them. They're living on the edge.
Anybody that has a fixed income. So, some of the retired, the elderly, and then obviously the those that are a little bit leaner because their finances are great, they get hit the hardest. But even if you're quote unquote middle class, you may still you talk about doubling.
Imagine buying your car.
Yeah, well, just think about what you spend now, and then you're like, man, I can't go up too much more. Well, now let's double your sales.
I did it quick while we were talking. It's like, so the average household, it's it's obviously not super specific, but it's somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000 in sales tax that you pay per year.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, I mean, if you're shifting it with your $5,000 a year, you're not paying a property tax, but you're going to end up paying that in sales tax. Like, like, what's the point?
Now,
what's the point?
Here's
it seems like the point is these counties or municipalities, they have to do less, right? They're overspending, whether it's waste, fraud, and abuse or just spending too much. You can address that by
I think
budgeting less.
I think you're missing the picture that they're focusing on. What they're trying to do is make homes more affordable, right? So there will be more affordability for the homes, because even if, like, based on these 4 states, one of the states, I forget which one, was not Michigan, the middle one, I think was
Pennsylvania, Texas.
I think it was North Dakota. One of them said that, no, it was Michigan. Michigan, they still had a 30% reduction in their property taxes, right? Now, they're paying more money other ways. I get it. But when you're paying your property tax bill to make your mortgage payment more affordable,
but
if you have let's say you have a $5,000 a year tax bill and you save $1,700 of that over 12 months, that's what, $125 a month off your mortgage payment.
Yeah, but if I'm paying for it elsewhere, what's the difference?
But for the homeowners, there's the benefit. So it's going to help people buy more homes, Mike. Well, know that.
But
I get that, but
then they're going to have to pay, right? But it's going to be more expensive.
It's like I tell you, hey Jim, I'm selling you cars at half price, but we're tripling the price of gas.
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily, because
it makes car ownership more affordable, but to operate your life, it's more expensive.
But the affordability crisis is about buying a home. Where's the value for the purchaser of a home with the sales taxes that decline the longer you're there? Your tax bill is still going to be the big tax bill when you buy the home. So it doesn't make it more affordable for the home buyer. It makes it more affordable for the person that stays in their home. Right? I don't see how it makes it more.
Well, most people are staying 11 years when they buy a home now.
And that's great. Again, for somebody that's in there, the affordability crisis isn't for somebody that's already in a home. The affordability crisis is for somebody trying to get into a home. And this doesn't help them at all, because the tax benefit doesn't come until you're already in the home.
I don't agree with that.
No, don't you get a $100,000 exemption?
I'm sorry?
Isn't the exemption
after
just
the
automatic?
first year?
Oh, after the first year.
Yeah.
It'll be $100,000 every year for 10 years.
But you have to wait 1 year to get that exemption?
I don't know what would happen this year if it was passed.
Right,
I don't know if it starts in 2027 or
until
this
there's
year.
until there's a big benefit for the closing cost aspect of the taxes. It doesn't make it more affordable for a purchaser, a buyer. You will save money as you stay in the home.
I don't agree with that at all.
How do you say?
Because if your tax bill's lower, your mortgage payment's going to be lower.
But it will get there. But we're talking about closing. We're talking about affordability to buy.
Well, so if you're buying, but you're buying a house, your tax payment, your mortgage payment is going to be based on that current owner's taxes. So if their taxes are built, or they have $100,000 homestead, or if they've been there 3 years, if they have a 3 years.
I could see that changing though. Like if people have the very, very low property taxes right now, because of their, like, for example, if a veteran has 100% exemption, like, we know that bill is not going to be 100% exempt for this new homeowner. So we adjust escrows based on what the bill is going to be when it, comes out, when it gets worse for them. Right. Because it is going to reset
plan again for the next year, getting even bigger. Right.
And so even though like 3 or 4 years, maybe your tax bill comes back down to the zero mark or to the, as low as it can be, that dynamic that you just pointed out, we might adjust for that just because we know it's going to go up. But
on top of that, like, okay, so let's say they do increase sales tax to 12%. Does that affect your DTI? Because if your debt to income, whatever is your limit is or call it 50%. That's saying like, okay, I can make these costs based on, I can keep up with my bills based on a 6%.
You would think, okay, so they do have some sort of like, well, how do they come up with 50% debt to income? Where's that number come from? Why isn't it 45%? Why isn't it 35%? So I think there may be something to that, Ross, except that those DTI ratios are nationwide right now. And and states have different sales taxes across the board right now for, consumption-based tax. So I would say it's not relevant. They've already kind of, done that. But if the overall like gross versus net number is changing, you would think maybe they adjust these max DTIs. My question for you, Jim, is
let's take a call first.
What?
Yeah, we got a call, Mike. I'm sorry.
You gonna keep your question?
Yeah, sorry.
I guess so.
Yeah, hold on.
Hopefully don't forget it.
He's mad at
Hold on to
me.
your question.
Don't forget it.
Go ahead, Jimmy. What you got there?
We got Ricky on the line, and he has a comment about the taxes or maybe a question. Ricky, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
What's up, Ricky? How are you?
Oh, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. And I apologize for interrupting your question there. But
Yeah, you can blame me. You can blame me.
I'm not mad at you, Rick.
Yeah.
So I was just, I've been in and out of my car. You might have touched on this a little bit already, but, I just done the simple math with Florida with about $48 billion in, sales tax that was taken in last year. It's an aggregate of 7% across the state because there's some higher tax rates in certain different, like Orlando's higher than where we are right here. You'd only need to raise the sales tax to get another $13 billion, 2%. Let's say it is 3%. I'm already paying $8,000 in my property taxes. I'd have to spend like close to $350,000 on additional things to make up that $8,000 on the sales tax.
That's an interesting point. What do you guys think about that?
Well,
I didn't think about it that way.
The proposal is just to raise it by 5% across the board, right? The sales tax?
6%.
Well, that was the one
going from 6
case
to 12.
study.
Yeah, no, I love the way you're thinking. Like the numbers is though to fill in a $13 billion gap, we only need to require raising this much. They talk about excess. They're just like, we're gonna raise it by 6%. It's like, whoa, where's all that gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Lot of money. You're right.
It is. It's a lot.
No, the trick is you're spreading it out across everybody. So it's not
a $13 billion gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you make it up?
Well, but raising the sales tax, the percentage they are across the net, they're going to make a lot more than that.
Well, if they raise it like that, but maybe they don't have to raise it that much. But they have raising it at all. So it's weird to me. It's just like you're shifting it from homeowners to the entire populace.
That's exactly
who
what you're
consume.
doing.
So you're just shifting it, and you're not like cutting back on. Like if you wanted to encourage municipalities to cut back their spending, put some sort of cap on millage rates. Right, like make it so that they're not allowed to budget, over budget or overspend. Right, instead you're shifting it to like some sort of state level where the state now has to, contribute to the budgets in order for county operations to continue.
I believe that's coming, but the thing that bothers me about that, Mike, is that now it's less and less. And I don't get how this even happened, right? But it's less and less local rights and more control from Tallahassee and more control from Washington, D.C. It's so crazy. There's no, I thought that we were a country where we want local rights rule and that everybody else protects on top for the big things. But now the state is going to tell each county how they should spend their money for their citizens. And the citizens don't have a right anymore, except for voting for the legislators up there.
Yeah.
But their local officials, they'll have less and less control. I don't think that's right because some counties or cities might want certain types of services that other counties and cities choose not to use. It shouldn't come from the top saying this is how you should handle your city. I don't like that.
So then each municipality gets we get a little county sales tax, right? Or a city sales tax, right? Like you can add that on to the state sales tax. And because like your individual, like Royal Palm Beach, they have their own, landscape and whatever, and the irrigation and the trees and the roads and the parks. And like, so you're talking about the state now dictating how much money goes to that, because those are all funded right now with your local property taxes, county operations.
And I live there because I love it.
My question, and so I mean, that's a good point. Like, how much would you have to shift to everybody? And maybe it's not that much and it's not that painful. But the point is, you're not adjusting the big problem, which is how much money is being spent on these operations, right?
I think what I'd like to see is some guardrails for the city, like so the state can kind of oversee for guardrails. Because my big argument has been, and I've been saying this since the last boom, I'm not talking about the COVID boom, but the boom before that, when they see these huge property tax or property assessed values going up, they make so much extra money even if they don't change their millage rate.
Right.
And then why do they need that extra money? I know that there's new people coming in necessarily, like your city's growing, but to be that much.
Ding, ding, ding.
Right. It makes, so the thing is they have to have some guardrails there.
Where did all that extra money go?
And it's been, I think that many of them started using it on services and stuff that maybe in leaner times you're not going to offer, and that's another thing with governments. You see them go up and down.
Ricky, we appreciate your call.
Yeah,
Anything
Ricky.
else on your mind, dude? Oh, he bailed.
I was going to say, Jim, you go to these people who participate in the process, right? Who go to the school board meetings and they go to these budget hearings in the county. Like they know what these people are fighting for as far as funding. Like if you said to the school board, you would see that they are underfunded in all categories and they need more money to be able to do this and to do this and to do this. So are you saying that that's like, it's not needed? Like, no, they definitely need to do less. The teachers, like what's wrong with this system where teachers are having parents buy school supplies for the classroom?
And that's been like that for 20 years.
I'm saying, but that's the type of thing where they're saying, hey, we need more money. Or teachers, frankly, need to be paid more. Right. So we're talking about cutting these services, cutting these budgets. Now, luckily,
we give
it's not the school budget.
We give money in an envelope to my daughter's in middle school, several of the teachers for supplies, for things so they can do things with they beg for. Do you have any? Because otherwise it's coming out of their pocket. Yeah. So
I know a lot of teachers. I used to write requests for proposals from the state and the county for them to try to get money for doing awesome things for the kids. And I'm not talking about like feeding them food. It was like programs to teach them how to read or do math better. And I spent hours and hours putting those projects together. And they got rejected all the time. And then I would say to the teacher, what are you going to do? She goes, I'm just going to buy the stuff myself.
They buy it themselves.
Yeah, it's
they
crazy.
care.
Because they care.
Terrible.
I mean, I think luckily they're not talking about cutting school budgeting. I'm sure that's still going to be, it's got to be funded one way or the other.
Because there's not enough.
But these other services, which some people would say are just as important, like how does our county look? How does our neighborhood look from appeal? Like we want things to look nice. We don't want things getting out of control. And so you're always going to find that. Maybe, well, I'm sure one angle is like, let's make it voluntary funding, right? Like Johnny's doing. So he pays money because he wants his teachers to have supplies for everybody. And he's kind of like donating a little bit. Well, maybe you do that. You have private funding for keeping the county operations.
I know, right?
I mean,
it's always like the fail-safe,
idea.
right? Charity will fill
Yeah,
in the
charity's
gaps.
going to do it. Self-funded. My question to you, Jim, was about affordability, housing affordability. Will this proposal lower the cost of a house?
I think it would, just because of what we said.
So home prices are going to go down because of property taxes.
I think the mortgage rates will go down. The prices aren't going to go down.
Right. So your payment goes down because your taxes as a part of your payment are going to be less. The
Just
question
like
is,
insurance.
will housing prices go down because of this?
So then people can afford,
housing prices go
so then
down.
people
No.
can afford more house. So now they start bidding a little bit more for the houses. And
Yeah, let's say that's $300 a month. Now you can shift that to your principal and interest portion of your payment, not your property taxes. So you can buy more house with that extra money. So housing prices would go up,
I would think,
because people can spend more.
That's a really good point, Mike. And that's coming anyway, because if the Fed if the Fed cuts the rates as low as that they're planning on doing, I'm not talking about the Fed group, but the pressure from Washington to do it. If that happens, what's going to happen is, and it isn't going to, if the interest rates drop low enough, it isn't going to create affordability. It's going to create increased unaffordability.
Sure.
Because there's going to be a rash of people trying to get the lower interest rate that we haven't seen in like 3.5, 4 years. And then they're all going to run out, and our prices haven't really dropped that much yet. So then it's just going to boost it up higher. And
Sure
it's
will.
so
We'll hit record numbers.
Yeah. So I agree with you that this is a very complicated situation. I'm not saying I'm for this plan. What I also notice, I'm just interested in learning more about it, but there's so many fingers, like it's like an octopus. There's so many arms that trickle out that you don't know have an impact on this.
Even people thinking like, okay, well, you know what? No property taxes makes Florida a great destination for homeowners. Because I do think, not home buyers,
homesteaded,
but homeowners who live here, I think it's, it sounds amazing. No property taxes. Like one of the big things we've talked about is you can lose your home if you don't pay your property taxes. That's a huge problem, right? Someone who doesn't have a mortgage, maybe doesn't have insurance, right? But they just, the property tax bill is one thing. Every single year it hurts them, right? They got to come up with $4,000, right? Or whatever, whatever it is, $2,000, whatever it is. And they're on fixed income and they just can't make that payment. Well, they do that 3 years in a row and that home is going to be sold out from under them.
Well, it'd still be in play because it's not like there'd be no taxes.
Yeah, there'll still be some.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they could change that rule. Say,
They might
listen,
be able to
you can
change
no
it to
longer
protect
lose
the
your home if you
seniors.
can't pay your property
Yeah, like
taxes.
to protect the seniors and stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's what I was thinking when you brought that up a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Where if they eliminate the fact that the government has a gun that they can put to your head and say your house is gone, right? Maybe instead you get a fine or jail time or something like that, but you don't lose your house, then
I just
you
feel like
eliminate
it's
that.
not a big enough impact to make. They need a bigger impact to control this problem, and they're trying to go big to figure out. But there's so many side effects that happen, and you have to figure it out. Just to give you an example, though, about this whole assessed value thing, 4 or 5 properties that I've looked at when I was doing comps for my sellers, it was amazing to see what 2022 and 2023 did to this economy in Florida for affordability. In 2022, I see it all the time. 27% year over year assessed value increase, 30%, 32% assessed value year over year, 1 year. Then the next year, a lot of them were 29%, 17%.
Market value.
Market value. So now what they're saying is that these houses have a market value 50% more in 2 years, right? And then 24 and 25 flattened out for most of them. But there's no way in my mind that the values increase that much in 2 years, 50%. And on top of it, to grab all that taxes for the new market value, because the market value raises the assessed value, to grab all those extra taxes, 50% increase in 2 years, that they're making so much extra money and you're not seeing them do dramatic things to make the services better in our community.
So they've already addressed that with the homestead exemption. Like that was one of the reasons they invented it in the first place. Was one of the protections is it stops your assessed value from increasing with the market value, Jim. So your assessed value with the homestead exemption in place can only increase 3% year over year. That's the max it can go up. But that conundrum, so non-homesteaded properties have been going up the 50%. Whatever, so you can expect your taxes to go up a similar amount. And that one has directly impacted home buyers because home buyers who buy a non-homesteaded property have taxes that are very, comparatively high to the neighbors who are homesteaded. And also when you buy that first year that you're the owner, the tax bill resets. And so even if it was low for the prior owner, $2,000 a year, all of a sudden it can jump up to $10,000, right?
But
Because you're at this market value that's like crazy. So,
but imagine if they reduce the millage rate to offset the higher market values, right? If they had done that, right, then the new people buying the homesteaded property won't get as big of a sticker shot for the taxes.
True.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that we have to rein in how the cities
maybe
the
we
connection
study.
between the raise of the market value increases each year and then adjust the millage rate. I don't like that all the time, every year, no matter how strong the economy is. It's very rare they drop the millage rate. It's very rare. And even when they do drop the millage rate, it's a fraction of what the market value increase was for that year.
Right.
Hey, we dropped the millage rate. Yeah, you gave me back $10, but you kept 1,000.
I mean, maybe it's
right?
probably not that difficult to research. Like, okay, so in 2022, like 2021, the total county revenue was this. And in 2022, it increased to this. What did you guys do with your budget? Did your budget increase by the same amount, or did your budget stay the same and you lowered taxes? Like, what did you do? Oh, no, we had a windfall, so we spent more money. We've had these projects that we've had on the back burner, or we put it into our reserve, or we just, finally we can do this big thing that we've been putting off, right? It's almost like with the long-term capital expenses on condos and stuff, right? So finally they got this budget windfall and they can implement some of these things that have been on the back burner.
And what they're not looking at, because that's their job, is to improve the community. They're not looking at, if we spend the money this way, how is it going to impact affordability for housing and everything else? If they had to say, hey, well, how do you figure that out? If they keep spending the money, that doesn't help affordability.
I'm not like in tune with it enough to know, but I'm sure that those types of discussions are being had, and I'm sure that there are budget hawks and there are people who want low taxes like in these discussions.
Sure.
And they probably spend a ton of money on impact
studies. Yeah,
impact
for sure
studies,
they do.
like
Yes,
what happens when we do these projects and spend money. So, it's just like the wheels of government turning, but
it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I don't know if I'm voting for it or not. I need to learn more about it, but it's coming, guys. These all changes are coming now. What we've learned is everybody else that has tried it, it hasn't worked, right? Texas hasn't worked. Michigan, when they did it, it was basically all they did is shift everything over. Shifted. I said shift.
Shift happens.
Yeah, shift happens. Yeah.
The one thing that they did do, and maybe we could look at it from that standpoint, was they tax cigarettes more. So, and that's something that our government loves to do. They tax cigarettes and alcohol, usually to raise some funds for something, because they consider it a luxury item, something bad for you. Maybe if they looked at it from that standpoint, luxury items, yachts, things like that.
What about
casinos?
What about terrible food?
I knew you were going to say that.
Casinos.
Tax,
yep, you're right.
tax
Betting
sodas, tax sugary products.
But that's the problem. Now you have people in government judging what's a luxury.
It's amazing the people in government who would be voting for that type of thing, and they don't think about the fact that, wait a second, aren't you like small government? Now all of a sudden you're telling me what I can drink?
Let me tell you, once people get in power, whatever side they're on, they're big government. They're nobody's small government anymore, right? Nobody. Everybody's big government.
I'll tell you what, this is going to come down to who can market this thing the best, because there's one thing that will hook and like sync with homeowners, which is, hey, if you're a homeowner, we want to lower your property taxes. Boom. Get that out there, and you're going to have a ton of homeowners voting for this thing, regardless of the implications
in the other states, Mike. They failed in the other states.
Marketing, like getting the push out, like getting out the vote. And it's a very easy to side with the homeowners. It seems like an easy task for the market.
I think you would be surprised, because the other states, it didn't happen that way. They usually rejected it, even though it was helping them in some ways. They felt that overall the big picture too scary, didn't want to do it. I'll just keep my tax bill.
Yeah, maybe someone's like, hey, you want to pay more for your cigarettes and your alcohol? Vote for this bill. And it's like, whoa, wait, what about a tax on guns or ammo? Right?
And that's the thing, they could start picking and choosing winners and losers. And that's why I've been saying the whole time, if they do anything with the property taxes, there's always going to be winners and losers. It isn't going to be a win-win for everybody. There's going to be winners and losers in this thing, and it just depends. And they're going to choose
we pay
who's
sales
going to
tax.
be winners and who's going to be the loser.
We pay sales tax on gas, diesel, don't we?
Sure.
Electricity, we pay sales tax on that.
I don't know if it's a sales tax, but there's plenty of taxes in gas. I'm not sure if there's a sales tax in there or not, though.
Yeah. So
spread it out.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. So that's the two-prong affordability plan right now, is what they got going, and we're going to just go through the process. Mike, we only got a few.
I love that they're talking about it. I think it's a conversation that should be had in every state. And I don't think, even if it doesn't work, I don't think that's when you stop talking about it. I think it should always be viewed. And if you can make it happen for homesteaders, then you start looking at how to make it happen for investment properties. Try to find a way to do it like across the board. But I think the appropriate steps are to start with homesteaded and try to, make, when you can wash it out painlessly for everybody, that's the best way. I don't think our proposal here is the best way, but I love that it's a continued conversation. And if it fails, hopefully it's not stopped. I hope we just don't stop talking.
Yeah, I hope they just don't say, okay, it didn't work, and then walk away, because this is a problem.
I think taxes in general, we should be having conversations about taxes in general.
Yeah.
Like we should, let's rise up over some tea again, folks. Come on. We literally got pissed about tea at some point. And yet we just walk around getting our asses kicked everywhere. That's fine.
It's pretty wild.
I'll meet you at the harbor.
Mike, we only have a few minutes left. Do we have time to talk a little bit about what we were? Excuse me, I have hiccups.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
Oh my gosh, then we don't have anything to talk about right now.
Well, we talking about mortgage rates.
Okay, let's do. Oh, they went up this week. I forgot they went up.
We had a slight dip. There was a weird dip in the market. The administration talked about the investing in mortgage-backed securities, kind of like a quantitative easing thing, and that for whatever reason that shifted the market a hair, especially the day that it happened. It was like Thursday to Friday. It was like, oh, there's a little dip because of this news, which I thought was strange, because it was like an announcement of an idea of something. Whether or not they could implement the idea, I don't know, and how much like real impact would it have. So I think the market reacted the wrong way the following week, along with other news, right? Like what's happening in the world and everything else. So we went slightly up from 6.06 to
6.09. Now,
so we have been in like the low 6 range since September.
Yeah, September.
We are.
So nowhere near 3 yet.
No, but we're pretty. We're in that 3+3. So.
I was going to say 3 times.
3.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 times 2.
2 times 3. No, we're 3+3 right now. Yeah.
So
that sounds so good.
3%
plus 3.
Plus 3.
We're in the +3 right now.
Yeah.
So the interest rates are staying stable, which is a good thing, because it's really bad when they go up and down in weeks, because buyers they
don't know where they stand.
The anxiety is super, and for me
it's also somewhat bad when you hear like all the headlines were like rates are dropped, the lowest and whatever, and
it's all bull.
We didn't see that much movement.
No, the whole thing was bull. That's what I'm saying. The media, the national media, it's almost like they're trying to be a bully pulpit for a good economy, even if the facts aren't there. So like everybody talking about this interest rate drop, and even the realtors are doing it. It really
Jim
drives me
called
crazy.
Me asking about the rates in the 5s, Mike. That's what I'm hearing. I'm like, no.
I kept
not
looking
the rates that we talk about.
I looked at the 10-year Treasury bill, and then I looked at Freddie Mac, and I'm like, I'm not seeing 5s, Mike. What's going on? That's why I called you. It's like, what is going on? I'm not seeing it. Mike's like, it's all bull, right? And that's the thing. And everybody's walking around saying this. Oh, the interest rates are dropping and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're not. Now, prices aren't increasing that much either, right? So that helps us out. We're not seeing huge price increases. But if you really want the real deal about really what's going on in the real life, come and check the show out every week.
Yeah, you should. And you can consume the Facebook feed and on YouTube as well. We have cameras in studio. We live stream every Saturday, and then you can go back and revisit. And Jim's awesome too, because I have like little benchmarks where you can be like, oh, I want to listen to that part. I just want to
timestamp.
Yeah.
Listen to Johnny C.
Timestamping. Oh yeah.
Nothing but Johnny C.
I'm sure you can filter it that way.
Yeah, you can.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? That's absurdity.
There's some Johnny C fights out there.
I guess there might be a couple.
Yeah.
Love you, Ma.
And half Johnny C.
I'm on. I'm on.
You can always get my
Put me to bed every night, big boy.
Nice. I have to make radio again. Stop. Thank you for being with us, and hopefully you're going to stick around. Greek is going to be coming in studio. I'll stick around and join him. We'll try to squeeze out a sports show, but I really appreciate you being here on a Saturday. Ricky, who joined us today, thanks for listening, chiming in. Look, if you got questions, comments, concerns on the world of real estate, if you are looking to buy a home, sell a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, or you need professional guidance, anything that touches the world of real estate, trust me when I say you get the best of the best. One click away at floridatalkrealestate.com. On Facebook and YouTube, consume away, hit share, hit like. You can absolutely change lives. including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Have a great weekend.
Yes, you too. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for everything. Ross Kamarinets with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Have an awesome weekend.
Thank you. You too. I'll do my best.
Thank you for everything always. And there's Jimmy D, Jim DiPaola with the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. I hope you have an excellent weekend, my friend.
Thank you. I got a listing appointment, and then I'm going to show a property right after that. So busy day.
Best of luck, and thanks for everything always. Jimothy, you are the best, and we appreciate you very much.
Have a great weekend, gentlemen.
Thank you, and you do the same. We do invite you to stick around, and of course, if you can't do that, I get it. You're just going to miss out on the best damn couple hours of sports that you're never going to find. But I hope you join us next Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate, 2 hours of infotainment right here on Real Radio.